Hello everyone, and welcome to this special reading for the new moon in Gemini that we have coming up on Friday, May 22nd. So there's a lot of energy in Gemini. The sun will be moving into Gemini on the 20th, 21st. Mercury is currently in Gemini. Venus is in a long retrograde pattern, a longer than normal time in Gemini, and the north node of the moon is there through January of 2022. So there's a lot of illumination that Gemini is offering us, and this is an energy of curiosity, of wonder, of questioning, of doing a lot of listening and talking, lots of communication. It's a very fast-paced energy, and this is, I feel like, it sort of is this wake-up call within all of us that we really need right now. We've been in a time of going inward, and things have been very personal, very individual, very painful for some people, during this time. And when we're all in this quarantine pattern, it's just been the way of it lately. And this energy, Gemini is a very outward, outgoing kind of an energy, in that, it's just curiosity is key, and being able to converse with other people, even if that's just electronically or through something like Zoom or what have you, or to read or to learn. Perhaps you're considering a new project. This would be the time. So this new moon in Gemini is happening on Friday the 22nd of this week. So it's a great opportunity. As you know, I like to make a wish upon the new moon. And the energy of this new moon is within the Sabian symbol for Gemini 3, the garden of the Tuileries in Paris. And at the beginning of this video, I will have shown, I'm going to put in a picture of what these gardens look like. And when I looked at them, because I've never had the good fortune to be there in person, but when I've looked at them, immediately I got this sense of form meets function. I felt like everything in that garden was created with a function. There's sort of a round pool of water. There's a row or two rows of symmetrical trees that create this pathway. Everything has a function, and it's all very much in a divine order, you could say. And it's something that is a treasured landmark for the people of Paris, and that many travel to see that from lands far away. And so we're just offered, I feel, a sense of wonder from this garden. This energy of Gemini is wanting to reach you through this divine order. Form meets function. But what is it? What is the message? And so there's 3 different messages, and you can choose any or all of the cards that speak to you. The first one is from the Fairies. So does a message from the Fairies resonate? The second one is from the flowers within that garden. And the third is from the animals. Okay, so which one of those speaks to you? And this will be a message around this sense of wonder that Gemini is inviting in. Your curiosity, time to get spiked up again. Time to get engaged with the world. Gemini loves conversation and just finding out these facts about people or projects, areas of study, just knowledge, I always joke that, to me, people with really strong Gemini energy, they can go into a room and talk to anybody, and before you know it, like within 5 minutes, they're talking about their childhood, tell me what your mother was like, And so there's an ease here that's being offered for you to get curious, for you to wonder, for you to engage with life again. You know, we really can do that, even in these times when we're locked up at home, or perhaps working from home, or not working for some people. Life is definitely different, but it doesn't mean that you lose all sense of curiosity and wonder. In fact, this could be a wonderful time on this new moon, to sprout something that is a brand new project. I've personally got some ideas of some things that I'd like to do for my business that are nothing about payment. They're actually putting some things out for free through YouTube that I've just always wanted to put out there. And I feel like now's the time. If I've got something that could help somebody, potentially, I want to offer it, because people take this wisdom, and this is true with this Gemini energy. People take this wisdom and make it more. You each of you watching this, you take knowledge and you add to it. You make it more. You expand it. And that's important to keep in mind. That's how we have progress. And it doesn't matter how small it may be. You know, you may all of a sudden take an interest in gardening and want to learn everything you can about when to plant bulbs and all of those things, or sewing. You know, like I'm pulling out the two areas of life that I have absolutely zero talent in. But this is the kind of energy that we're dealing with. Like, even these seemingly impossible areas, like for me with gardening and with sewing, like using a sewing machine. I'm like so in awe of people who can do either of those areas of interest. I just really look up to all of you. We each have our own talents, though, and that's what this garden of the Tuileries, I mean, when you look at the pictures of it, it's just like we all have form and function. We all have these innate gifts that we're here to explore. And it is our job to bring them to the world, because as we do that, we feel better. We feel more encouraged. We feel more full of life. Do you hear this little squirrel? And there's a little chipmunk who's running around here. This is the verve. It is this sense of, it's a little chipmunk. He's having the greatest time back here. It's this sense of new life. That is Gemini. It's just a curiosity about the world, and we need that. You know, and I'm just interested in, for you, what gives you that pump up again for life, because we spent a good amount of time like doing some soul searching and, you know, having our own dark hours, or maybe they've been really enlightening, or perhaps a little of both, you know. So let's get started with these messages. So the first one up is from the Fairies, okay? Oh my gosh, this card again. This came up last week, the beauty card. So in the Garden of the Tuileries, I mean, the biggest keynote when you look at any picture that you can find online about it is the ultimate beauty. But to me, as a reader of the energy of the Sabian symbol, it's a really, there's structure to that garden. There's a reason that they put the pool of water where they did. There's this line of trees. I mean, there's certainly gardens and, you know, flowering bushes and flowers and everything. And the fairies, of course, most definitely live there amongst all that energy. It's part of why it was built. But there's, again, form meets function. With all that beauty, I think the fairies don't want you to forget about that the beauty can actually be part of the function, okay? They don't want you to decouple them. That's what they're pointing you towards, is whatever feels beautiful to you can give you a hint towards an area of study, an area of curiosity. We're just trying to get your fire lit this week with this new moon, to be honest with you. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like come on, baby, light my fire. Let's go. It's time to get up and get going. And here in the Northeast, here in New Hampshire, it's the spring. Finally, may we not have any more snow. And it's that feeling of wanting to be outdoors, even with the bugs, even with a crazy little chipmunk who's running around like nuts today. All of that is this new life. It's this new, everybody's just ready to get going. Everybody's ready to start collecting their bits of what they need for a project, whether that's information or actual resources of some sort. Okay? But to look to, and within the Tuileries, like I said, I don't want to forget that much of that it's different pieces of the garden. You know, are you more drawn to, and I really want you to think about the elements here. Are you more drawn to the water? Are you more drawn to earth activities like, you know, gardening, that kind of a thing? This doesn't feel heavy. It may be studying a new area for a career or such, and that is related to earth, things that help you to make money, things that help you to feel more organized in your life. Or air, that is just pure, you know, communication and how you use communication to give and to receive messages. Perhaps there's an intuitive study that you want to do. The project I'm talking about, I really want to put out a series of videos actually on learning how to dowse. I think people should be dowsing, those that are drawn to it. It's a natural skill that we were given to connect us with the earth and with the four elements on this planet, to connect with our higher self. So that's a very earth-based, but also the air element of communication from our higher self, from the biggest part of who we are. We can have a direct line to that through something like dowsing. Or just enhancing your communication abilities, you know. Maybe it's taking a course about using social media for your business or for an area of study that you're just interested in. You know, something that you just want to share. You have these photographs or you have drawings or things and you want to share them more broadly. It's about sharing beauty. And I really do feel the four elements for you that chose this card. And of course that directly, the fairies are part of the elemental kingdom. And so they have a keen interest in that. And with water, I don't think I mentioned with water, if you're drawn to water, that's related to intuitive studies, as well as emotional. Things like, you know, really perhaps doing some journaling on emotion, or things like the study of the law of attraction. Your emotional guidance system, as Abraham Hicks would say, is your greatest tool. That would be working within water, you know. But there's so many things that you could consider if you, anything having to do with emotions or the intuitive, okay, when it comes to water. Or with fire, that is activity. That is things like dance. That is things like working out. That is getting your blood pumping. That's really strong passion, and also like some of your most passionate relationships. And that can be both. It can be friends, family, lover. It can be any type of relationship that you just put a lot of passion into it. And any of these, I mean, the beauty comes. You know, if you've been listening to me for a while, I just have such a respect for anybody that takes a natural gift that they have and they make it or they make themselves through that endeavor, whatever it may be, a fine craftsman. They devote themselves to it. So no matter what, you know, they get online and they do a reading, or they, you know, continue to paint, even if they aren't necessarily feeling at their best. and they also know when they're not in the groove, and they wait and let the energy clear itself up so that they can be in the right space to create. You know, it isn't just a matter of pushing yourself through. This is the beauty. The beauty has this flexibility to it, okay? So the fairies really want to point you towards which of those 4 elements that I described might there be this new curiosity, and just be light with it. Gemini is not, the other end of Gemini is its natural partner Sagittarius. And Sag is interested in affecting the world. I mean, this is like big belief systems and philosophies, and that's what Sagittarius is interested in. This is more at the ground level, which makes it more pliable, and we can just have fun with it, okay? Really nice energy that I feel from this new moon. It's light, you know, it's doable. And it's like this little chipmunk. If only you could see him. He is just having the best time running around. He's gathering. He's got stuff in his mouth every time he comes by me. He comes up here, he goes down there. He's just gathering. That's exactly what this new moon is about. And it's all form meets function, these Tuileries, you know, this beautiful garden, okay? So think about that with the 4 elements. The next card is from the flowers. So if you wanted a message in the Tuileries from the flowers, this is Let Your Inner Beauty Shine, the beautiful pink rose. Talk about form meets function. The thing with the rose, no matter what the color, but this pink color is definitely connected with compassion. The thing with the rose is the construction of that flower. This is my read on it. It's just absolute perfection in its unfolding, because we really only see those deeper layers of the inner beauty, which this card is about, as it opens. So what I feel is the flowers want to give you this opportunity through the new moon. What they're saying is, allow yourself to open to whatever this curiosity may be. It is something that people can see, that it literally makes you shine when you think about it, when you talk about it, when you just have perhaps read something about it. I mean, this is really, again, I just want to stress, this Gemini energy is very ground level. It's just getting your hands in the clay, so to speak. It is engaging with life. It's showing the planet. It's showing the universe, I want to be here and I want to engage with this. I have something to give here, because there's something really significant with the energy that I'm not sure everybody is aware of or pays any attention to. If you are naturally drawn to something, okay, you don't know why, but for some reason it's calling to you, like out of nowhere, you just feel like, you know what, I really want to discover the life of a chipmunk. What the heck is he doing? You know, when do they gather their supplies? What is the winter like for them? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to become a master at understanding the life of a chipmunk. And you may laugh at me, but there's something there. There is a reason why we are drawn to things. There is a reason that I was drawn to take my very first Reiki class, and that whole thing opened up my spirituality to the point where I left all my security with my corporate job to launch a business in doing energy work with horses. I mean, I couldn't have ever imagined that, but it's just something within you that is so true. And it will change and morph, and that's okay. You might shift from studying fascinating species of chipmunk to then maybe becoming, you know, a bird expert, you know, and bird watching and knowing bird calls. That's another thing I'm fascinated about with people, is when they can hear or see a bird and they know instantly what it is. I'm fascinated by that. That is so amazing to me. Because the birds are the spiritual messengers, you know, and all the animals have messages. They all carry energy that if we see them, if we want to pay attention to them, they have a message. And the same is true of flowers as well. I didn't read this card. Says, you are a brilliant example of God's love. Everything about you is perfect, so let your inner light shine and inspire others. See that word, inspiration? Because you're drawn to look deeper at something, and it just doesn't even matter where you step into it. Maybe 20 years ago, you had an interest in painting, and you got a paint set, and you got some canvases, or you're doing watercolor on the special kind of paper. Whatever it may be, there was a reason you were drawn to it 20 years ago, and then you've taken a break, and now you feel called to it again. That is not just when they say a calling, like people who are called to go into the ministry or to become a priest, that kind of thing. That verbiage of a calling applies to way more than something like that in terms of what you do, to make money, or it's just such a strong feeling of service for others. It's equally true for something like studying the life of a chipmunk, or painting, or what I want to do with, getting more information out about dowsing and about cleansing yourself and your spaces. And I have such a passion about that kind of thing because there's something within you that is triggering off. And what I'm seeing is the flowers are saying, because this is the thing, you need the curiosity to open you up, like that first Reiki course did for me. I haven't been the same person since I took that first Reiki course. After that, it was just like, okay, let's keep moving. I just love this stuff and I can't get enough of it, And at this point, that was back in 2013 when I took that first course. And by the beginning of 2014, I was ready to launch my business, and we put it all on the line to do it. So, you just never know what just this sense of pure wonder can do for your life. What if it's the beginning of something so important that it's going to change the trajectory of your life? It is going to infuse your life with something so vivid and just full of dimension and purpose. Form meets function, like the Tuileries. There is purpose to all of that, okay? And people feel it, I think, when they're there. That's the sense I get from just looking at a picture of it, because there's such beautiful divine order to it, and you're opened up, You're opened up. Okay, the third message is from the animals. This is the Spirit Animal Oracle. Yes, I think I have that right. Oh my gosh, beautiful. I just have to take this in for a minute. The Deer Spirit, bring a gentle touch. Deer energy is all about gentleness. This is the animal totem that I am choosing to synchronize to, that I want to calibrate to in this portion of my life. They remind me of it regularly by showing up. So I'm pretty sure this card is for me. And for those of you that have picked this, this is card number 18. I'm being drawn to the number right away. So in numerology, we add that up. So it's number 9. It's a real sense of completion. 9 is the end game, and then we start again. So it's a time of reflection, that our curiosity can lead us to a place, our sense of wonder, our sense of taking in the world. This wonderful little chipmunk who's just back and forth. He just keeps doing it, and I'm sitting right here because he's that eager to gather. He's that eager to gather. And this number 9 that I'm getting is this sense of you reflecting on all that you have gathered so that you can start another cycle with something new that is related, but it is something that you haven't yet done. But you're going to need to gently, because that is the energy. I just really want you to look at this artwork. It's so beautiful to me. I love this deck. If you're looking for an oracle deck, I do recommend this one. It's just this sense of like, it isn't about sitting down and making a list and being really rigid with it. These are the animals that are walking through the Tuileries, and late at night, you better bet, even within Paris, there will be deer that walk through there. There will be birds all day long. There probably are chipmunks, just like this little guy that is collecting and going across the lawn right in front of me. There's lots of activity, there's lots of movement, but the deer energy specifically wants you to just gently take a look at the movement you have made in whatever area of interest it is for you. When I say you've got this new moon in Gemini to make a wish upon, and it's something that form meets function, where your specific natural gift wants to come forward in a particular way. So when you think about those words and something like natural, your natural gift, I'm really quite sure that you have explored that, whatever that may be for you. And it could be a real sense of helping other people or providing support in a particular kind of way, or something like painting or gardening. It's a doing kind of an action that makes you feel good, but you don't recognize that it's also has an effect on other people as well. And it's just a time, what I really feel is this reflection time of entrusting the universe, and it could be through the animals, to kind of show you that next step. There is a real earthy element to this, to your reading. Because again, animals in all these cases, the fairies, the flowers, and the animals, they're all in the elemental kingdom, okay? But I really sense with deer, it's earth energy. They're so lucky to have not just 2 feet on the ground like we do. They've got 4. This is the magic I feel of horses as well. It's a real connectedness with this sense of how do you bring your natural gift into the earth experience. And it's just a gentle reflection. Like I was starting to say, it's not, Gemini energy is very fast. With your reading, I'm getting a lot of like blah, 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 and I can feel my language is getting cut off because the energy's fast with Gemini. But your reading feels slower than that. And it's why it's not coming smoothly here. I don't think it's about writing it down. I don't think it's about being super structured with it. I think it's about a quiet reflection, a gentle reflection for yourself of when I tried that. This is where I was at in my life. And I think I did have a natural talent for that. But then I left it because I felt like something else was getting my attention that I needed to explore. It was necessary for me to explore it. And it led me down a magical path of its own. But perhaps now I'm ready to circle back to something. I'm really feeling that. I'm really feeling that for those of you that picked this card. It's a circling back to something because you are changed since the first time you tried it. I really do feel that. Because deer, they're one of those animals, and dogs do this too, is they'll keep going in a circular pattern until they make their bed, so to speak, of where they're going to lay, like for the night. And this idea of the circling is what I'm seeing. And to understand there's also been no wasted time. and the other things that you've explored in your area of natural talent. It's a natural gift. There's been, all of that has led you to a perfect place for you, and you've discovered a lot since. Whenever you first began your journey. Okay, I'm hoping this resonates for you, because something, you're just matured enough. I don't know any other way to say it. You've enough time and very valuable life experience has gone by where you bring a new richness to that, whatever it is. I can't even guess what it is. I certainly know what it is for me, because I know this is my card. But there's a real sense of just, it's okay to be circling right now. Just circle. You're making your bed in which to lay and to be comfortable with this next thing that you're ready to explore on a whole new level. Okay, and just to be gentle about it, because I do feel a sense of judgment. There are layers of it that you may not be aware of like, oh my God, if I could just calm down enough, because that's part of the Gemini energy. Gemini gets really bored quickly. And so imagine somebody comes into a room full of people and they talk a little bit here, and then they leave and they go over and talk a little here, and or like when you're at school and studying a subject, you might get really bored with that, and somebody who bounces around on their major that they have in college. And I just want to relay, please don't bring any judgment to it, because it's all perfect along your path. You almost have to explore those other avenues in order to come back to your natural gift. Like the purest essence of your natural gift. And so be gentle with yourself. Dear energy, be gentle with yourself about this. There is nothing about deer that is harsh kind of energy. It is very light-footed. It can take off at lightning speed, but it can also be that sort of, so to speak, deer in the headlights kind of look, where you're kind of just frozen in place for a little while. And just please have compassion about all of it. Whatever your journey has led you, it's all good. That all was necessary, because it has rounded you out, and that has contributed to the experience that you can now bring to whatever you might be looping back to, okay? But it's important that you just give yourself the time and the space to really contemplate, what do I now have to bring to that particular area of interest? That project, that way of being. This can be anything. Gemini is anything and everything about curiosity and wonder. So just open yourself up to that. Okay? Have lots of compassion and be really gentle and reflect and ask that the universe clearly show you signs of getting back to that core natural gift that you have, and that you're here to share with all of us. Okay, everybody, there is your reading for this special new moon. Let's get jazzed up for this. Let's get engaged again. Let's get curious. Let's put our sense of wonder out there in the world. By you directing your thought in that way, it will come to be. It will come to be your experience. Bye-bye for now.